Hey guys, Jay4gamers1 here, and I want just to touch on the topic subject while I'm just trying to get some random training into Street Fighter Cross Tekken. And it has to do with one main thing, and that is arcade stick versus pad. Now, I know what everybody's going to try to say. Oh, I saw this pad stuff, get the arcade stick, is the best to use. You can use arcade stick a lot better than you can use pads. Arcade stick, blah blah blah.
Fuck you! I ain't having that shit!
I honestly say it's like everybody really tries to force one thing on another. And what makes it bad, it's like you shouldn't really just try to force that down people's throats. I mean, if one person fancies pad, they fancy pad. If they fancy something else, they fancy something else. You can't just force them to like one thing or another. That's one thing you can't do. It's just not in the nature. Because, I'm sorry, if you're into arcade sticks, that's you. I'm not going to force you to do something that you don't like to use. Because that won't be right. It's like, if I don't force my opinion on you, don't force your opinion on me. I'm not going to say, hey, you should use pad because pad's a lot better. It's come to the point to where everybody's like well, this is one thing is better because you can do this. Just because you can do a half things on different that's on pad than it is on here, doesn't mean that everybody's going to adjust to it. Everybody's going to be the best for it. If you really take in consideration what everything is going for, I honestly say that I'm preferencing to pad, and pad works out a lot better for me than anything else. Why? It's because I'm used to control, the feel. I feel like I do have control when I'm playing with this. It's not like it's like how every time I try to get on arcade stick, I can't really fully work and function with it because, it's like, you have to do this, that, and the other, and it feels too weird for me. I can't get used to the controls, and everybody's like, well, you have better precision. I have precision on here too. So what's the difference? It's just there's different precision on certain parts that I can use better. And then there goes also to stating of, why should you use, why should I force myself to try to learn pad when I'm forced myself to learn stick when I've already learned pad very well? And then it just comes down to it's because it's better. It'll make you play better. If it makes me play worse, then why should I put all my money into an arcade stick that I'm not going to really use? It doesn't make that much sense. I'd rather use a pad over arcade stick, not because not for the sheer fact I'm saying pad has a lot of better things. It's because pad has a lot better feel for me. It feels I feel more control when I'm using pad. I've used arcade sticks multiple of times and tried to get into it, but it's like to do a simple motion like this, just to do a projectile, which is pretty much just regular Hadouken motion. It took me 5 minutes, and I was just pretty much trying to do stuff like this, and then I was doing stuff I wasn't trying to do. It took me a while to finally get it. I couldn't take that. It was really annoying and aggravating. Where in pad, I could easily just adjust and take what I need to do and go on ahead and do it. So in my personal preference, I like pad, I enjoy pad, and you can't really just force down that I have to use arcade sticks. Arcade sticks don't run the gaming community. If to be honest, like, there's really good pad players out there right behind arcade stick players. So it's all just a matter of preference, in my opinion. Yeah, you can do all this extra stuff with pad. That's some things you can't do on arcade stick, but arcade stick you can probably do a lot more. But it's how you adjust to it and how it makes it better for you. It's how it should run. So, in my personal preference, don't try to force something down somebody's throat that they're not going to get used to. If they find pad better, they find pad better. If you find arcade stick better, you find arcade stick better. Just live with it and go with the flow. Because in the long run, it's going to be whoever does the most, whoever wins. And usually it's like, yeah, there's good arcade stick players. But it all depends on the person that uses the arcade stick and the person that uses the pad. So in my final verdict, if I don't use an arcade stick, I don't use an arcade stick. I can get better with a pad if I want to. So with that said, Jay4gamers1 signing out, and just don't try to force a pad down people's throats. I mean, pad. I'm getting confused with stuff today because I'm trying to remember everything, but don't try to force stuff down people's throats that they don't want to use. It's not really worth it. Jay4gamers1 signing out.